Still on OP9, trying to get that final OP level. Been having some trouble with the binary boss at the end of OP9. So hopefully we can take another shot and get past that binary boss. But we are getting better. We are reaching, at least we're reaching the binary boss more consistently. What was this grenade? Homing corrosive cloud. At least we're reaching the binary boss more consistently than what we have been in the past. So we are getting better at moving through OP9 at least. Hello Squiggy. Thank you for subscribing on a 9-month streak. Thank you very much. And how are you going today?
Which is superior?
Let's go ahead and throw our regular bee shield setup on here. Sandhawk. Shock Pimpernel. Shock Corrosive. Shock Bone of the Ancients. While we were farming, we did end up picking up a corrosive Bone of the Ancients too, so we do have a full collection of all the 3 elements, which is very nice. I did want the final corrosive one, even though we're not really using it very much. Here we go, OP9, trying to get that final level.
You will help me and I will please assemble here and we can begin.
Doing well? You now owe me a child support. Hope you're well too, and good luck with the run. Thank you, Squiggy. Yes, it's been 9 months now. So that's right, we've got our subscriber baby. I am doing well. Starting off with a spider tank. That's like a little mini practice for binary boss, these little tanks. I have to remind myself to keep picking up the junk to sell so we don't run out of money in the end. Something spawning on the back side, another tank. Oh, 2 tanks. Got a tank heavy section here. Now Rabid Skag.
Stay still.
I was able to get him down to half health before I used the Phaselock. Always nice when you have that option at least. Always a troublesome time when you're trying to get those Rabid Skags. Haven't got the Phaselock ready. Where's he going? He's walking off to the side. Where is he going? So for binary, you can try getting first turret low while keeping lower body section secondary. Then once it's low, you can switch focus to the lower half. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you got at least something for the fight for your life. You need it. And maybe you can get a second wind off the first turret. Yeah, you might. We'll see. You're so close to the small dialogue box. Yeah, we're getting closer each try. That's definitely a good idea. Get that first turret health down So almost 0, so you can use it for second wind.
Enough.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Because the other times when I went down, that turret was just too... health was too high to really make any use for it for a second wind. That's about the only thing you can use for a second wind for that fight. There's no other minions around you can use.
Stay still.
Arbalest spider ant.
That was interesting. Please stop. Bye now.
And more spider ants. What do we have here? They're all clumped up together. Oh, we've got the tank. Watch out for this spider ant here. Got some good help from the chain reaction that time. As for healing, I like Tesla for overtime if I get hit by a rocket, using them sparingly for the most part. Yeah, it's nice to have that damage going, so you can just flip over to the grog nozzle when you need it. I like that too. I like to use that for Dukino's mom as well. And yeah, also bullet reflection, so you want to cut corners often. Also, the binary boss reflects bullets. I wasn't aware of that. Chain lightning fastball is awesome for burst healing, so your choice. Right. Yeah, I actually do like the... do like to have a Tesla going and then heal that way. At least you can do it. At least that way you can do it even if you're behind a wall. So binary boss reflects bullets. Is that right? I wasn't aware of that. If that's the case. Okay. Well, that's good to know, actually. I didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah, so maybe I was taking damage from bullet reflections as well and not realizing it. That's quite possible too. Let's switch over to the Pimpernel here just in case I need it. Now we have enemies spawning in. Nice when you get the RNG not to have enemies spawning in this corner section. Rabbit Skag to begin with. Horn Skag by the look of it. I recall he even reflects rockets sometimes. The characters that are rocket based, such as Krieg Gage, have a harder time. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know any enemies could reflect rockets as well. Something's up above here. Spitter Skag. Oh, he got me. Try to deal with this spider ant.
Stay put.
We still have this bit of skag here.
Silence.
He did shoot me again though.
Another down.
And we have the constructor ahead. Oh, we've got another wave of enemies before the constructor.
Stop struggling. That was awesome.
That was good. I got to shoot that spider ant from behind. Another rabid skag. That might be it for me for this run. Killed by that rabid skag. Probably should have switched over to the grog nozzle earlier. And there's one more thing that probably won't work with the binary too well, but for normal mobbing and bossing, or bunny hopping, where you are or are moving to, unless ADSing, try spamming jump. Right. Oh yeah, so for normal mobbing and bossing, bunny hopping, yep. Wherever you are, unless ADS, try spamming jump. Right. Scrambles AI unless your character vibe. Right. Yeah, that's something I'm not doing, so that's something I should try to do. Jump around more. Let's buy some rockets here. So even when there's no fighting active or whatever, you can try jumping to everywhere. That's true, just to get into the habit of jumping around. That's true.
If you could please assemble here and we can begin.
It's also 1% faster than walking, but who cares? Right, okay, so it's slightly faster. Well, what do we have? We've got spider ants and nomad here. Try to go for the spider ant first. Chain reaction should take out the nomad.
That was interesting.
Should have sold off my junk there, but that's alright. We'll just continue like this.
Spider ant lives for as long as it takes to meet a vault hunter.
Keep an eye out for surveyors. There's a surveyor. We have one surveyor at least.
Hold it right there.
It's too close to that fire spider ant. One more enemy here. Marauder.
These probes are outfitted with
Yeah, so we've got a surveyor heavy spawn this time.
gauntlet is built off because I'm smarter than Jack.
Bedtime.
So the one shot with the Pimpernel was enough with the cloud kill. Having the short cooldown's very good. By the time I take out the grog nozzle to slag an enemy, the Phaselock is ready to go again.
Hold it.
Plenty of enemies spawning in here. A bit more involved than the previous run, this first section. Pretty tanky, that super badass loader. Usually the loaders go down pretty easily. Particularly with the Sandhawk. The main advantage for bunny hops is to confuse the game so that enemies aren't able to properly track your position though. Right.
Calm down.
Yep, so they can't track you. Probably particularly good for enemies, the melee enemies that charge right for you.
Bye now.
You have to get into the habit of bunny hopping there. Okay, our inventory's full, so we've got 79 million. Ranged enemies will do that too, but will also shoot. So they'll still get disrupted if you're jumping around, even though they're shooting. Yeah, probably should get into that habit. Jumping around. Have our cardboard cutout back here. Air-based enemies will either do nothing at all if you're already hopping as they spawn, sawtooth up top the tower, or follow a single direction or it won't work at all. Okay, so you can sort of disable the flying enemies completely if you're hopping at the right time. That would be a big help for the surveyors. Yeah, that would be a big help for surveyors if you're getting swarmed. Like in this this section coming up, you can easily get swarmed by surveyors. Got some enemies about to jump up. Just a maniac. Another enemy wants to jump.
No. That must have hurt.
Oh, there's still one more enemy that's running towards me.
Hold it right there.
Another rat. I think we're all done with the moving enemies. We can move forward, deal with these turrets. Regular turret. I was saying with Bloodwing even. So the Bloodwing fight probably is a lot easier if you're lucky enough to jump at the right time. Okay, so it really messes up the enemies a lot then. So yeah, that does make it more advantageous to be jumping around, even if the enemies are a long way away, or even if they're spawning in. SGT loader. Another enemy about to jump off the cliff here. Right on top of me. Oh, I lost my shield. Ton of SGT loaders here. Can't get in any cover there.
Free.
Works better with the controller because there's an input delay, but technically you can get her stuck inside the circle. And then you can just shoot her while she's just stuck inside the circle, not doing anything. Yeah, that does seem like a very powerful thing to do. Something spawning way at the back. That looks like a surveyor moving fast. Two more slower enemies, 3.
Please stop.
Another surveyor. Lost my shield there.
More enemies are spawning.
Another surveyor. Oh, this is a surveyor heavy section. Surveyor heavy run this time. And the scorches.
Stay still.
I'll go around this way. 2 surveyors with the scorches.
Enough.
There he is. Trying to find out where that surveyor went. Couldn't quite pinpoint him. Maybe the Sandhawk is better. Got a lot of critical hits on that time.
Hold it right there.
See if I can scoot around the side. There we go. Certainly is easier if you can scoot around and get the critical hits behind. I've got a OP7 Hellfire, I don't really need it. Well, maybe don't practice it exclusively on the peak during your last OP level. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you don't want to try too many new things on the last OP level, but keep it in mind for the future. or like generally? Nice Jeej. Yeah, that's something I need to do more of, as well as just try to maneuver around the backside of the spider ants. I don't really do that enough. I'm too scared that the Phaselock is going to wear off before I get around the backside to kill them, and I'll be out of position. Hello, Andre. How are you? Let's go ahead and grab this ammo. You're doing all right? That's good to hear. Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. Trying to get this final OP level for Maya here. So we're up to OP9, trying to get the last level. I thought we might have a constructor at the top here, but we had the double scorchers and the bunch of surveyors. I recently got my PC working again and got Borderlands 2 again, since I like the game a lot. Yes, it is a good game, has very good replayability. So what was wrong with your PC? Let's go ahead and see what we have here in the shop. Rubberized incendiary transfusion. We did use a little bit of SMG ammo. Rest looks good.
Don't die. I need your business.
Okay, let's throw Lady Fist on and the Herald. Sheriff's badge. I've got a bunch of junk here as well. Cleric class mod and probably the lobbed Tesla. And the bee. So let's try this. I think some programming files got corrupt and it wouldn't boot up properly. Oh, that's a pain. It's always a pain when that happens. So what, did you have to reinstall the operating system to get it working again? Okay, so we might have the midget spawning. No, we got Dukino's mum. Oh no, we have... Oh, maybe we don't... Oh, we got the... We have the skags this time. Horned skags. Now we've got Dukino's mum up here.
I can relate to Dukino's mother. She dislikes children, is without social graces, and vomits constantly.
Got me with that shock ball. Got me again. Thought I was done there. Not fast enough with that Tesla grenade. Yeah, factory reset it and now it works, which is very good. How's Borderlands 2 been for you recently? We're getting stuck on the final binary boss. So that's been the hurdle for this final level, dealing with the binary boss for the most part. So previously we had a 0, we got up to OP6. And now we've got this Maya that we've got up to OP9. So we've been trying to at least finish one of these characters, get it up to OP10. So hopefully we can get there with Maya. But I am enjoying the game quite a bit. Who else will you play after? Will you play something else, or will you play something else? I'll probably play Axton. That's what I'm thinking about doing next, is an Axton run. So that's the plan anyway. See if we can get this Maya up to OP10. Then do Axton. Dude, Axton's going to be so enjoyable. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually. I do find those turrets to be nifty. Oh yeah, Axton is fun. His turrets are so cool. Yeah, I do like those. I do like the turrets. Let's get some more grenades. We can top off with the rockets as we go. 24 grenades. Yeah, so we'll be using grenades a lot more. Which is something I really haven't been using a lot of in the game. Probably don't make full use of grenades. So that'll be interesting to get into the habit of using grenades more, getting more use out of grenades. Let's go ahead and throw the Bee loadout back on here. Legendary Siren class mod. Shock Bone of the Ancients. And we'll put the Chain Lightning on as well.
I'm very sorry. Please assemble here and we can begin.
Luckily, I haven't had to reset my operating system for a long time, which is nice. Always a hassle when you have to reset the operating system and then reinstall all your applications again. Turns into a big job. Badass Skag's not coming forward. Now he's coming forward. You format your PC every 6 months. Wish I had all my progress from my other account. Oh, you lost your progress when you reset the computer. I got a ready-made USB stick with all my post-install programs, so it only takes like 2 hours. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart if you got all your applications set up and ready to go. I outsourced pretty much all my private data to external hard drives. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. Then you can just wipe the hard drive and go from there.
Enough. Bye now.
I have so many old programs and crap on my hard drive that it would be a lot of work to try to put everything back the way it was. So that's smart if you start off right from the get-go, having everything set up so it's easy to restore. Where's the surveyor? I guess I'll go for this warloader first. I just run one bat script that executes all installers in a row, one after each other, once per format. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go as far as reinstalling everything. And if all fails, I still have a monthly backup of my private stuff on my Raspberry. Okay, so you back up to the Raspberry.
Gotcha.
I had my account on my PS4, but that also broke and I can't fix it. And I gave away my controller since I never thought I would use them again. Oh, so so you're playing on PS4. Oh, so you had some bad luck there. Your PC stopped working and your PS4 broke as well. Surveyors coming through. There's another surveyor. Phaselocked him just as he died. Kind of wasted that phaselock.
Gotcha.
Just make a new character. Enjoy the character. Problem solved. Yeah, at least it is fun to build up a new character again. But it's not like some. Oh boy, I'm going to die here. Where is he?
That was fun.
So it does give you an excuse to replay the characters. If you need bar though, you can use profile editor to bump it to 11.
Enough. That was interesting. Oh, I enjoyed that.
Oh, I forgot to sell off my junk again. I guess the most tedious thing with reinstalling your operating system, at least for me, would be setting up all the applications again. So having a backup of all your application settings would be very useful if you had to wipe the hard drive and start again. One thing that's really tedious about installing software these days is trawling through all of the settings and trying to disable all of the privacy compromising settings. Back in the day, you didn't have to worry about that so much. You could just install a piece of software and just just to be pretty confident that the default settings would be okay. But these days, the default settings generally compromise your privacy more than I like. So whenever I install a bit of software, I always spend a lot of time going through every pixel of the setup screens trying to disable all of the privacy compromising features that most applications have these days, which makes installing software and even updating software. You update a piece of software and all of the dodgy privacy compromising settings, they get re-enabled. So even updating software is a hassle. You have to go through the software and check all the settings again. So that's one aspect of modern software that I really hate, is having to constantly go through all the settings like a hawk, trying to figure out which new and creative ways the developers have dreamt up to compromise your privacy.
A smart warrior never leaves an enemy alive. You cannot proceed until your foes are gone.
I guess enemies will be spawning in soon. Oh yeah, that. And I also used to have a shit ton of software, suites and convenience as shit, but at some point I replaced most of that stuff. Yeah, that's exactly the situation I have. I just have a ton of utilities and tools installed that I use occasionally, and it'd be a real hassle to try to track them all down again and install them and set them up again. Nowadays I use inbuilt antivirus, lots of portable apps, also freeware and zero config. Yeah, wherever possible I'd like to install the portable version of applications for that reason. It's just so easy just to copy over one directory and you're done, rather than having to install it and then set things up again, or try to set up the settings again. The only commercial software I need to use for my memes is Adobe, but the rest is free stuff. Even my backup app was replaced by a self-written, very short script using 7-zip. Yeah, I used to use 7-zip for backing up.
Gotcha.
These days I use a disk mirror, a disk or drive mirroring tool. What is it called? I forget the name of it. But I use one particular backup tool to back up the operating system, and then another backup tool to back up the my data files. So when I do a backup, I end up using two pieces of software to do that. Another enemy on the cliff here. What is this? Another harmless spider ant.
Calm down. Unexpected.
If I need a software on demand, I either download a fresh version or check my hard drive for an installer, but unless I need it for something, I don't install it during the formatting. Yeah, that's probably a good way to keep your system clean of a bunch of junk that you're not using. Yeah, I had a similar dilemma. So I just ended up feeding 7-zip a list of files, folders, and compress them to a network drive. Raspberry, easy. Yeah, that's definitely that's a nice way to do it. Have a network storage and just back up to a network storage. I generally use external hard drives to do the backing up, just because it's ends up faster for me. But it does mean it's a slightly less convenient. You have to drag the external hard drives out of the box and plug everything in. So slightly less convenient. Look out for these rockets. Okay, it's finished with the rockets. Oh, there's a surveyor here.
Quiet! That was awesome!
Oh, we still have one surveyor that he constructed by the look of it.
What kills you takes some solace in the fact that he is constantly on fire and you are
Your external is not hooked up 24/7? What the heck?
bored. Maybe you should find
No,
someone
my external's not hooked up all the time. I like my computer to be pretty quiet. So I've built my computer with quiet parts. And I use a quiet PC case with soundproofing material in the case. So I don't have my external hard drives connected all the time because they tend to be noisy. And I don't want noisy external hard drives connected to my computer. I like to keep my PC as quiet as I can.
Hold it!
I went to all the trouble of choosing quiet components when I built this PC. So I don't really want to plug in a couple of noisy external hard drives to the computer and kind of ruin the whole point of the build, which was a priority for the build of my current PC is to use quiet parts. So I have a quiet PC. So most of the time I don't even hear the PC when it's turned on. I have to put my ear right up next to the PC for me to actually hear it when it's running. If it's not under heavy load. I mean, if the PC is under heavy load, then the fans kick on and you can hear it. But most of the time, unless the PC is under heavy load, I don't hear it at all. And that wouldn't be the case if I had external hard drives. I'd be hearing the whir of the external hard drives. So for that reason, I don't keep them plugged in all the time. It's only been relatively recently that you could actually build a quiet PC. You know, you go back even 10 years ago, and noise was not really a big selling point for PC components and PCs in general. But at least in relatively recently,
Hold it right
PC manufacturers have realised that people actually do appreciate a quiet PC, and a lot of PC parts actually do sell the fact that they are quiet, or they are semi-passive, where the fans will just won't even spin until they're needed,
Free!
like graphics cards, for example. And these days you can also set up the BIOS to keep the case fans and PC fans off until you actually, or at least spinning very slowly until you actually need them. So I'm very grateful for that PC manufacturers actually take noise seriously. They never used to. So you can, or at least it was a very niche market, creating a quiet PC, so you had to spend a lot of money to buy quiet cases and quiet power supplies and stuff. These days, all the major PC component manufacturers have components that are quiet, or at least advertise features that make their stuff quiet. Yeah, you can relate. Yeah, I've definitely gone through many PCs that are have very loud power supply, fans. And these days I'm done with that. I wouldn't ever build a PC now that where I didn't take into account noise and try to build it as quiet as I can. It's not expensive and it's not difficult to build a quiet PC these days, so that's what I do. I just build them all quiet. USB sticks are cheap and silent nowadays, fortunately, so just plugging one in for a backup takes like 3 seconds. Yeah, that's true, yeah. If you're backing up, if you're not backing up too much data, yeah, you can just use USB sticks. Or I guess you also have the solid state drives as well. So if you use those for backing up, put a solid state drive in a external hard drive case. That wouldn't be too noisy either. Or not noisy at all. But generally when it comes to the hard drives I use for backing up, I generally just use, generally buy whatever's the best price per gigabyte ratio, which is still mechanical hard drives. So I use the mechanical ones for backup just because they're cheaper per gigabyte than the solid state alternatives. So let's throw on the Lady Fist and the Herald. 512 gig for €50, so that's $82. Yeah, stuff is coming down for sure. Yeah, if you're backing up your software and operating system, that probably would be fine for that. So you could use something like that for the for your frequent backups. And then use maybe a noisier hard drive, cheaper hard drive just for the data backups that you might do less often. I think the Tesla was working out okay here. Well, let's try this again with the Tesla. But I do have a Raspberry Pi that's got a bunch of USB drives and SD cards plugged into a external caddy. But most of that's filled up with stuff to watch, movies, video files to watch. I don't use it for backup. We've got the Skags again. And we've got Dukino's mum coming in.
Crazy Earl will resume his attempts to domesticate him once Dukino keeps his arm back up.
Explosives!
Just got that Tesla deployed just in time there. Try to get the right distance. I made it easy, that raw at the end. Pick up this iridium, 150 iridium now. Longbow singularity, 2.9 second fuse there. Worth checking out the longbow singularity grenades you find. Oh man, I love Borderlands. Yeah, it's a very good game. Definitely have got sucked into the game since I got it. Yeah, in fact, having lots for a certain portable SSD, 1 terabyte for €70, 115 AUD, which would also be silent and quick to utilize. Yeah. Definitely, if I was going to have external hard drives plugged into my computer, it definitely would be SSDs. Yeah. The only reason I got the mechanical SSDs for backup is just because they were the cheapest option. It's just that I got this 14 terabyte hard drive. And that's plugged into your Raspberry Pi. Let's jump back to Legendary Siren class mod. No, into your PC. Oh, that's your data grave, right. Yep. So back to the Shockbone of the Ancients.
A tough decision.
And the Chain Lightning. Yeah, I have most of my longer term data that I don't use all the time on the external hard drives. I have a 2 terabyte SSD in my computer at the moment, which is pretty full, but it's full of junk, so I can delete quite a bit of stuff off of there. But most of the stuff, like most of the longer term stuff that I don't need every day, I have it on the external backup drives. Oh, we've got a nomad here. But that's an impressive size, 14 terabyte. What do we have here? Another surveyor? No, cannibal rats.
Hold it right there. That was interesting. Shut up.
Marauder. It's pretty aggressive for a marauder. Usually the marauders hang back behind cover. I thought that was a rat because it was moving forward so aggressively. I've only ever had one hard drive failure. I'm trying to think how many hard drive failures I've actually had. I think just one, actually.
Enough.
So it's certainly worth backing up your stuff just in case, but as far as I can recall, I only had one hard drive failure, which is still one too many, but it's always a good attitude to have when it comes to hard drive is to assume that at one point it's going to fail, so make sure you have your stuff backed up. It's a safe attitude to have towards storage. Just assume that yes, it is going to fail at some point, so have your backups ready. I guess most people don't do backups.
Hold it right there.
My data grave, yeah, same, just one. Yeah, so it does happen, but hopefully it's a fairly rare occurrence. I lost like 80 gig of worthless data, but I still become more cautious. Yep. At least when I had my hard drive failure, it was just making my Windows PC blue screen. And I was wondering, why is my PC blue screening? And then I did a hard drive scan, which did report that the hard drives did have errors on it, and that was probably causing the Windows to blue screen. So I was able to replace the hard drive and just clone the hard drive onto a new one, and I didn't notice any data corruption, even though the hard drive was, or at least the hard drive scanning tool did report that there was errors on the hard drive. So I got lucky in that way, that I was able to clone the data off the hard drive even though it was failing. It wasn't a scenario where the hard drive failed completely and I couldn't get the data off, so that was okay. I was a bit worried that the data might have got corrupted, but didn't get corrupted. Or at least nothing that I noticed. Nothing that was a showstopper. I'll take a quick break at this point, and I'll be right back.